Look at that. I remembered. Okay, guys. So welcome to this class. We are going to be talking about healthy living, healthy bodies, healthy weight management, all using Young Living Sleek. And I've added a couple things in there because I think when we think about weight management, we have to have something that's entitled weight management, right? The Sleek line. That's why we came out with it. But tonight, this is why I told you guys, grab your paper because I'm about to rock your world. Because when I was digging up this information as I wrote this class about a year ago, the things I learned about cinnamon, things I learned about grapefruit, the things I learned about sleep just rocked my world. And then it made me look at myself and think, oh my word, what am I doing that's not beneficial to my body? So as we think about this, or you think about friends who maybe have struggled with their weight, over their lifetime, I want you guys to really think about, we're going to think about our bodies and our friends' bodies and our husbands and our family, whatever, in terms of cellular function. Okay. Rather than I want to lose blah, 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 right? The never-ending battle of how to love our bodies has gone on for decades. I was just thinking about this the other day, probably because of this class, but you all have seen those paintings in the Renaissance era, right? And those voluptuous women, and that was a sign of wealth and prosperity. And now it's like the slimmer you are, the more hours you spend in the gym, the tighter your clothes can be. Apparently that's a sign of it. So it's just this never-ending battle. A few decades ago, I'm probably dating myself. I don't know that there's anybody super, super young on here. Maybe later you'll be watching, but Twiggy came on the scene. Do you guys remember her? Super, super thin. Before her, a size 14 was normal. After her, I look like a house, right? Like that's just not normal. But that's not how God created us to look. We all come in shapes and sizes. And here's the thing. Tonight, we're going to shatter myths around healthy weight management. I'm just going to share some simple truths that are going to leave you guys feeling empowered and to make small, manageable changes to help you start that journey. Well, I laugh because I have always been thin. I was so skinny that tights were baggy on me when I was a kid. It was super embarrassing. To this day, I hate wearing pantyhose because I have this like PTSD from having to wear tights under my dresses. So when I talk about weight management, people often look at me like, listen, you don't know. I'm like, but I know science. But here's the thing. I live with a man and he can come over in a minute and show he lost how many pounds? 70 pounds in how many months? Okay, like 6 months. So my husband 5 years ago went on a weight journey or a weight management journey and dropped 70 pounds. I think it was actually 75 pounds. I didn't think he shortchanged himself. Of course, look, see, there he is. There's his torso. Look down, there's his face. That's my husband. And so after walking with him through that journey, it was almost like we both gained a little bit of credibility because it wasn't that Mark went on a diet per se. He actually just had a mindset shift. And so we're going to talk about that a little bit tonight too, how we look at things, how we look at food differently. Okay. So here we go. We're just going to dive right in, guys. I'm going to start with our tips. Remember I said I was going to give you 5 tips. We're going to talk about some resources. Tip number 1. This is not news. But I guarantee, what are we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of us struggle with this. Drink more water. I promise you, most of us are not drinking what we're supposed to. We're meant to drink half of our body weight in ounces every day. Now, stick with me. Raise your hand if you're a coffee drinker. Anybody? Okay. I'm not calling you out, but if you're a soda drinker, if we drink tea, pardon me, anything that is not water doesn't count. And in fact, if we drink soda, coffee, tea, then however much of that beverage we had, our bodies need that much in water just to flush it out. Okay, so if I love coffee. It like my veins are brown, I think. So if I drink 2 to 3 cups in the morning, then I need to drink at least 2 to 3 cups of water just to flush my cells of that coffee. So those 2 to 3 cups of water really do not count for my intake of water every day. Are you guys tracking with me? All right. So if I weigh 160 pounds, I need 80 ounces in water every day. Now, if I add on to that 3 cups of coffee. Okay, I'm going to need to add on 24 ounces of water on top of that, just to maintain. We should never drink water when we feel like it. We should always have a cup of water and just be drinking constantly. Once we feel like we need water, we are now already in dehydration. Most Americans drink less than 4 cups of coffee, see, now I'm thinking about coffee. 4 cups of water a day. That's alarming. That's 32 ounces. Most adults I know do not weigh 64 pounds. 2 of my kids do, right? Most of us, and if you do weigh 64 pounds, and I got a whole nother class about protein that you and I need to talk about. So you see what I'm saying? So most of us we are dying of thirst in our nation. Drink water all the time. I've heard people say, but I don't like water, to which I'm like, do you like living? Because I feel like it's time to be a grown-up. If you don't like water, guys, grab your oils, grab your lemon, or jade. I just grabbed jade lemon. Grab orange, tangerine. There are so many health benefits to that. There's an oil called Acatea that my husband and I just went to Ecuador, and we actually got to smell it being distilled, and it's in the cinnamon family. We're going to talk about Acatea a lot in a little bit, but it has almost like an oatmeal cookie taste, but if you put it in your water, it really amps up the flavor of your water. It's delicious. Okay, tip number 2, sleep enough. Sleep enough. I'm going to say it again, just in case you didn't hear me. Look, I'll say it louder. Sleep enough. Y'all, some of us wear sleep deprivation like a badge of honor, right? We're like, oh, I'm so tired. I'm so busy. I'm like, great. You're putting yourself into an earlier grave with a bigger waistline. Studies show that 40% of us are getting less than the recommended 7 to 9 hours of sleep. And you might say, it's okay. Einstein took cat naps in his lab. Well, Einstein was a genius, but he's a little weird. And who knows how his physical body was, right? A lack of sleep. This is why sleep is so critical for healthy weight management. A lack of sleep puts incredible stress on your body. Incredible. It's as bad. Research has shown that it's as bad as inhaling a bunch of living in a toxic environment. Okay, so if you're getting less than 7 hours of sleep, it's just as bad as if you have your house filled with chemicals. Okay, it releases unwanted hormones that are the same as when we're exposed to a toxic environment. This is huge. Tip number 2 is probably, I should have put it number 1. Drink water and sleeping enough. Like, I think if you drank enough water and you got enough sleep, if you're trying to manage your weight effectively, I guarantee you're going to start seeing dramatic changes in your body. Dramatic changes. We need an average of 7 to 9 every night. Most of us are getting 4 to 5. We just simply cannot thrive, right? Oh, thank you, Maribel, for asking. So the lack of sleep, it releases unwanted hormones that are the same that equate to being exposed to a toxic environment. So you think about things like cortisol. That's our stress hormone. Cortisol is great for our bodies because it helps with that fight or flight. It helps us in defense and to survive. But if our body is producing cortisol simply because we're sleep deprived, it's like being in a high stress environment 24/7. And ladies, just pause here for a minute, Kyle. This will, or any other guys watching, this will be relevant too. But for us ladies, when that cortisol amps up, the way that our body protects us is it just adds extra layers onto us. It's like a little protective covering. It also, men and women, it messes with our adrenal glands. I guarantee most of the population now is in adrenal fatigue simply because they don't get enough sleep at night. Adrenal fatigue is not good. And ladies, our adrenals speak to our ovaries, which is a whole nother class for a whole nother day. But if our adrenals are low and our ovaries are messed up, you are pretty sure to know that your thyroid is messed up, and then on it goes. So you see, it's a vicious cycle. I'm not saying like, oh, if, one night you're like, shoot, I only got 6 hours because, you're up, maybe you're up in presence, maybe whatever. On average, 5 to 6 days a week, are you sleeping 7 to 9 hours? It's not that hard, but here, let me give you some tips. So this will be tip 2, A, B, C, that kind of thing. So here's some steps to it. Turn off your electronics 60 minutes before you go to bed. Y'all, I am preaching to myself. I'm looking at myself right in the eye. I'm like, ma'am, stop checking your notifications an hour before. I know I'm looking at Maribel. You got to stop that. Just stop. One of the things that I've studied, and I haven't done this for myself, I'd be interested to hear if any of you guys have done it. Love to know what your experience has been. But putting a soft light by your bedside. They actually have light bulbs now that are meant for just to be right by your bed that will help your body get into that REM state, or that sleepy state. We have gotten so far of how God designed our bodies that we are meant to be going to sleep about an hour after the sun goes down, right? And we're meant to get up when the sun comes up. But we throw ourselves off. And if any of you, or if you know somebody who works the night shift, it's so hard for them. Or like if you're a mom, none of my kids slept till they were 4. And so my sleep cycle was just all messed up for the longest time because you're just constantly up and down, up and down. This is my favorite. You guys are going to love this. Write this down because this was like, hallelujah. Eat a small bit of protein before you go to bed. Yeah, I just told you guys to eat before you go to bed. You're welcome. But this is the thing. You've heard from Oprah. I know y'all watch this one Oprah because she's like big about the weight management. Don't eat a grape or a nut after 6 o'clock. Why on earth? Your body needs that protein to stay full, number one, and it's going to help your body fuel their cells. You guys realize that your organs work double time once your head hits the pillow? And it starts, there's this whole rhythmic clock, which again is another class for another day, but it starts and it finishes off in your bladder. That's why you have to go pee and poop first thing in the morning, because everything is flushing out. That's why it's so important to drink a good sized 16-ounce glass of warmish to tepid water so that your lymph system can get moving. But when we eat a little bit of protein, we can fuel our cells. Remember, protein are just building blocks, right? So if we eat that protein, it doesn't have to be a steak. It doesn't have to be a 16-ounce steak. It can just be a handful of nuts, maybe a little cube of cheese. I was at a friend's house the other night. I was watching her husband cut up some apples and a few slices of cheese. And it was just like that hard cheese. It's not, processed. It's all the yucky stuff. I thought, well, that's a really good snack. It was at 9 o'clock, just a small little bit. And I thought, that is so wise. I bet he slept great. So try it tonight. If you guys make yourself a little protein snack, my kids will take a little lick of almond butter or peanut butter, a little spoonful of it. We have to stop thinking of food in terms of calories and thinking of it as fuel. We all are brilliant, right? We have a brilliant creator who created all of our cells. Once we left high school and biology, it was just like, none of that applies to us. But here's the thing. If we know our own bodies and understand how our bodies work, we literally can move mountains. And of course, use your oils. I mean, come on, lavender, cedarwood, all of those things. All right, tip number 3, chill out. Calm down. I'm just saying that to myself, right? Stress is a common thread for weight management issues. In our current culture, it's commonplace to work long hours and take shorter and less frequent vacations. Show of hands, I'm putting you guys on the spot. How many of you have been on a good week-long vacation in the last 12 months where you really rested? I know Trish has. I thought about you today with the islands. Guys, our culture does it so backwards. In Europe, they take like 2 months off. It's just part of their culture. It's just part of how they do things. But we work longer hours. Remember how I said we should go to bed just about an hour after the sun goes down and we get up when it comes up? We should be taking siestas in the afternoon. When we start to feel sleepy, that should be a part of our story. It's not. And you cannot change your whole culture, but it's good to know, okay, what am I dealing with here? In many families, both parents work, which makes it so much harder to find time to prepare meals, to prepare good, healthy meals. If you don't have kids, both spouses work, typically. Once kids leave the home, or if you don't have any children, everybody works because it seems silly to not to, right, in our culture. So if you work all the time, you're working longer hours, how many of you guys feel so excited to prepare a nice, healthy meal on the end of the day? I don't see, oh, Trish, good, okay. I'm like, I don't see anybody raising their hands, but one, yeah, a little bit, right? It's really difficult to do that, or even to just prepare ahead of time. Round the clock, here's the other thing, guys, with the stress. Round the clock news. I was a hairdresser for 100 years, and I troll Facebook sometimes because I love to people watch. I listen a lot, and I see people say, oh, our world is so bad, and all the violence and all of this and all that. I'm like, no, it's not. Have you read the Bible? People kill each other all the daggum time. And here's the thing. We just see it all the daggum time now. All the time. And here's what happens. And if any of you do this, please forgive me. But people post these tragic stories. And what you don't realize is by reading that, by posting it, by even like putting a little sad face, it increases your stress levels. It, again, releases those hormones in our bodies, the same ones that get released when we don't have enough sleep. So it's like we're doing it to ourselves. Also, because of that, those things, it keeps us up at night. So see, it's a vicious cycle. If you're like my son, who I just kissed, I mean, he is so into politics. He's so concerned about the world. He came down the other night, was so worried about Korea. I'm like, honey, stop reading the news. Just stop. The other thing is being stressed is researchers think that eating irregularly and on the run may contribute to unhealthy weight management. Neurological evidence has shown that it messes with the brain's biological clock. There's a pacemaker in our brain that controls our daily rhythms, and it tells us whether we're hungry or whether we're, so it regulates the hunger and the satiated signals. Ideally, these should keep our body steady. But when we're on the go and we're rushing around, our brain is just in survival mode, and that part of our brain, the biorhythm, it can't figure out what we're doing. It's off its rhythm. Our bodies, I need to find a better way to say this. Our brains aren't lazy. Our brains take the path of least resistance. Okay, so it does that with emotions. It does that with just surviving. We are built for survival. And that's what our brain tries to do. So when we're running hither and thither and yon, it's just trying to cope. And it doesn't know when to give us those right signals, right? So being stressed, being eating on the run, it creates irregular patterns. I don't know if you guys have ever done this, but running through a drive-through because you're busy and you don't have the time. Your brain is like, gosh, I feel harried. I should be sitting down, but it's 9 o'clock in the morning. I should have eaten breakfast at 6 or 7, and your biorhythm is off. I hope that makes sense. So stress and lack of sleep are also closely connected with psychological well-being, which can also affect our diet and appetite. Anybody gorge on cookies or potato chips because you're feeling anxious? I'm alone in this. Anyone? Okay, right? It's a little stress eating. Here's the funny thing that I teach a feelings class. And when I was studying for this, I realized, oh my word, we're just like animals. I have 4 dogs and 5 kids. I apparently like chaos. But if you watch 2 dogs eat, and like one of our dogs, she just constantly like looking around, and she won't eat if another dog is near her. So if they sense danger, if animals sense danger, they don't eat. But here's what happens as humans. We have 2 options. Sometimes, people will be like, oh, I just can't eat. I'm so stressed out, right? There's that option. That is not my story. I'm option B. My story is my brain is trying to help me feel safe. So our brains will actually trick us because we have the ability to reason and think and process, where animals just, nope, it's like 2 things, yes or no. So our brains will trick us and say, okay, in order to feel safe, I need to be eating. And it's like this cycle, right? So if we're in a stressful situation, if we're feeling triggered, if we're feeling unsafe, whether it's maybe at work, maybe you're having a stressful time at work, whatever that unsafe feeling is, we will comfort ourselves. You guys have heard of the term comfort food. There's a reason why they call it that. We will comfort ourselves with food so that we feel safe. Y'all, that is mind-blowing, because here's the thing. If we would just recognize the next time you reach for something, it's not that you shouldn't have it or you can't, but just say, okay, let's process this for just a second. Is this because I had a stressful day at work? Is this because I just had a fight with my husband? My kids are acting like fools or whatever. Is it because someone just yelled at me and now I feel super sad? So I'm going to be like potato chips or whatever, and just really think about it. And even help yourself in advance, prepare in advance for the things that are going to be hitting you. Prepare snacks in advance that are going to satisfy you and give you that safe feeling. The studies that have been done on this type of thing have demonstrated that some people are affected more with depression, anxiety, and emotional disorders because of these things, because of the lack of sleep, because of the stress. All of these things ramp up, right? Okay, tip number 4. I needed to count. Happy belly. Happy bellies equal healthy weight management. Clean your guts, my friends. Our guts are directly related to how healthy our weight management is. Directly tied. You must take a good probiotic. This is critical. You don't have to drink your kombucha. You don't have to brew your own, but a good probiotic is key to a healthy gut. Number 1, this is your belly is your second brain. When your belly's happy, your brain is happy. Do you remember just a minute ago, I was just saying about depression and anxiety and stress? If we are helping this, then this is capable of focusing and thinking clearly. Also, 100% of your immune system is in your gut. Yes, thank you, Maribel, for asking that. 100% of your immune system is in your belly. Also, we hold a lot of our emotions in our gut. Sadness. Have you ever heard the term worried sick? A lot of people who struggle with worry have belly issues. You see it in little kids. I watch it in my kids. When I get that mom parent where I'm just like, I'm on a rampage, one of my boys, he will come down and say, my belly hurts. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. I was yelling at everybody else. And it stresses him out. So rather than putting on an oil like Digestive Peppermint, I usually reach for something like Release, Peace and Calming, something, and that actually makes his belly feel better. Our thoughts and our emotion, guys, are actually things. They're tangible things in our body, and they reside in parts of our belly, parts of our heart, parts of our lungs. Here's what I'm going to say, though. Not all probiotics are created equal. I was a stickler for probiotics. True story, and this is being recorded, so I'm a little nervous. I'm about to say this, but I need to tell you guys. It's only been in the last year that I've taken Young Living supplements, because here's me. They're an oil company. What the heck do they know about supplements? Like, let's be real. A lot. And we're going to talk about that, about how you have oil-infused supplements, how that's amazing, on and on. Comes to probiotics, I'm thinking the same thing. I thought, oil company, probiotics, what do you guys know? A lot. They have the backing of so many scientists, so much research. It's incredible. In addition to, if you look, how many of you guys have probiotics, not Young Living specific, in your house right now? Okay, you, Kelly, you, Yvette. Kelly, Pounder, do you have them, not Life 9?
I think they're under the bathroom sink, but we use Life 9 now.
It would be an interesting little research. Many probiotics have, all the probiotics, and then like it'll say wheat fillers. It'll say something other than a probiotic, which here's me. Why in God's name would you put wheat in a probiotic? But anyway, I digress. So for you girls that have another probiotic, just check it out. Nothing else should be in your probiotic. That's silly. Many probiotics boast billions and billions of strains. And here's what they don't tell you. Hey, we've got 100 billions of strains and you should be taking this. Here's what they don't tell you. Those strains can be cannibalistic, meaning they eat each other. You guys realize that probiotics are living creation. So they will eat each other. So you're left with 2 strains. It's not working. Many strains are not researched properly. It's like they're just taking this, here, we're going to do this, pack it in, boom, done. Life 9 has 9 super strains. This is super cool, you guys. 9 super strains, meaning that they all play well in the sandbox together. They're not cannibalistic. You take in the 9, all 9 are going to go in through and do their job. The other thing is they are time released. We'll talk about poop for just a second. So they have been clinically tested to withstand all the acid, all the junk in your gut, in your stomach, so that it can go out and it doesn't release until it gets to your colon. Do y'all realize that you want your probiotics in your colon? That's where all the junk needs to be healed and helped and cleaned out. Actually, I didn't really talk about poop. Oh, look at that. I got through class without that. Clean your guts. Happy it up. Number 5, the final tip here, is that there are also medical conditions that can cause weight management issues. I am not here to treat, cure, or diagnose. I will get in a lot of trouble for that. Kelly will probably screenshot me, send it to the FDA. You know, like that one time when I said, hey, this cured that. Oops.
Yeah, you said cured?
You said cured. I was in Ecuador. What do you want? But here's what I will tell you guys. I have done extensive research on the human body. I don't know how many of you guys know, but my oldest son, the one I kissed, had cancer 7 years ago, 2 months. Skin cancer, cancer of the biggest organ. I researched the body like crazy to heal. I did this, prayed, God heal my son. That was my big prayer. So if any of you think, I got to be really super spiritual and holy. No, those really quick ones work. And then I Googled healing melanoma through food or curing melanoma, something like that. Came up with all kinds of things. But the other things that I also came up with is many of our conditions or our issues can be changed with proper supplements, oils, proper nutrition, and I'll go back to the biggie, sleep. Many things. My thought was with my son, if I can figure out how cancer is made, like why cancer happens in the body, well, I'm just going to figure out how to undo that. And you really can. So there's that. But again, I'm not here to treat, cure, or diagnose you at all. Not now, not ever. Okay, so all of this, you guys could write all these things down. But here's the thing. Many of you are like, oh, there all these 5 things. It's really hard. I have these meetings. It's December. I'm going to be out late. I'm not going to be able to drink my water, whatever. So I'm going to have you look at your list, the 5 things that I just wrote, and you're going to do easy plus 1. I want you guys to circle the one thing you're already doing, the easy thing, and then the 1 plus 1 that you're going to do. And over the next 4 months, you're going to add 1 thing. I guarantee tonight you're like, you know what? I know I get enough water. I'm good in the hood on that. That's all I drink. Perfect. And I'm going to challenge you to do something else. Maybe grab Life 9 for probiotic. You guys, here's what I'm going to tell you. Other probiotics I've taken, I took it on faith. Other supplements I took it on faith. Like, I'm assuming I need this. Life 9, I can tell when I don't take it, and I can most assuredly tell when I do take it. I'll just leave it at that. Maybe it's that. Maybe it's that you go to bed a little bit earlier. Maybe it's you turn off TV, or you kill your TV and you're like, I am not watching the news. I'm going on a news fast and I'm not watching it this month. Whatever it is, easy plus 1. Simply just drinking water can change. Simply going to bed a little bit earlier. But it's also important to change your thoughts and your mindset on weight management. My mom, and she would not mind if I share this, she shares it all the time, but she was always told she's a big girl. My aunt, who is, her older sister, was teeny weeny, short, and super petite. My mom is 5'8" and like normal, but she was always told she was a big girl. So what do you think she grew up to be? Everybody say it with me, a big girl. She has struggled with her weight her whole entire life, and it's just been in the last couple of years she's like, oh my word, I believe those things that were said on me. So changing her thought patterns, changing how she looks at herself. These are things that you guys, this might be your easy plus 1. How do you see yourself in the mirror? Take charge of your hormones, guys. Figure out what's going on. Be a student of your own body. All right, let's dive into some things that are going to help us. I thought I would reach for my oil. Oh, here we go. So let's talk about grapefruit oil, number 1. I promise you, Kelly, we will talk about sleep. We're getting there. We got to talk about all the other good stuff first. So grapefruit oil. You guys, this bottle, I'm supposed to be showing you a Vitality oil bottle because I'm going to tell you to take it internally. My bad. I do not have it because it's tiny and I drink so much of this. I need the big one. But if you're going to take it internally, you're meant to do it with a Vitality. It's the same oil, just a different label. The FDA wanted us to say, we could not tell you it's a topical, it's a aromatic. Thank you, Kelly, for doing us right. There's my compliant friend. And we couldn't tell you it's cosmetic, topical, and internal dietary. We couldn't say that on the same label. The FDA is like, no, that's all bad. So same oil. Here's our cosmetic oil. And then Kelly, please demo again. That's our internal oil. Same exact oil. Just so you know, if you're posting on social media, you doing this, like putting in your tongue, make sure it's a Vitality oil, or somebody might go, shouldn't do that. Okay, there's that. Grapefruit oil is amazing. You guys, did you know if you just smell grapefruit oil, now this comes from the peel of your grapefruit. It does not come from the meat of it. It tastes completely different. I can actually put this in my mouth. I would rather die than have to eat a grapefruit all by itself. I don't know if you guys like grapefruit, but it's like, it makes my tongue do a weird thing. But this is awesome. Just smelling it, if you guys have grapefruit oil, oh my word, just smelling it actually activates those enzymes in your body that start to break down the fat. I'm going to say that again. Just smelling it actually activates those enzymes. So when we eat, you guys know, like if I talk about food too much, your mouth starts watering, you're going to be grabbing the nuts, right? But when we eat, our mouth starts to water. It's because those enzymes are going, because our body is designed to start breaking down those fats. Guess what? You add grapefruit to your water, or you just smell it. Maybe you're diffusing it at your desk at work because you're a snacker. Anybody feel me? Doing that, it's going to help those enzymes that are already cooking to keep going. And those enzymes break down fat in your body. It's brilliant. We all know that grapefruit can benefit weight loss. I mean, how many of you guys have heard of the grapefruit diet, right? But the grapefruit oil comes from the peel, like I just mentioned, and it's very high in compounds called D-limonene. So you guys want to write that down, D and then limonene, which helps to support your metabolism as well as cleansing and draining of your lymphatic system. Think about that. If our lymph system is clean and clear and everything is flushing the way it's supposed to, our body, you guys, when we pee and when we poop, we're peeing and pooping out fat. That's what we're supposed to do. That's why taking a probiotic is so critical. Because if that is all working, if our gut is working right, we can flush that literal CRAP out of our body. So when your grapefruit oil is applied to the skin in small amounts, it actually can help support your body's natural ability. I mean, like a diuretic, I'm probably just diagnosing and curing, guys. I don't have any other word. Please forgive me. But it's a stimulant for your lymph system. So applying it, to your belly, applying it to your armpits, wherever you have those lymphs. Also, dry brushing. Anybody dry brush? It's one of those things I know I'm supposed to do, but I just don't. Kelly, you're amazing. You're meant to dry brush because it helps to stimulate your lymph system. Me, I'm a little lazy. I'm like, here, grapefruit oil, done and done. I don't want to sit there with a brush, but the brush is so good. So taking your grapefruit oil helps to stimulate those enzymes, flushing it out. There you go. When it's mixed with patchouli, I don't know how many of you from the 60s enjoy patchouli, but when it's mixed with that, studies have shown that it can actually help to stave off that munchy time. So there's that for all my non-patchouli lovers. Try it with grapefruit oil. Rock your world. All right.
Is there a vitality of that?
Say again?
There's a vitality?
No, they were saying when you mix it, like when you're diffusing it, grapefruit and patchouli together, kind of like if you're hungry, you feel a little munchy, maybe you open up your peppermint, you smell it. It's that kind of thing. And it does. Do you have patchouli with you, Kelly?
It's in my bathroom.
Okay. After this, maybe taking your grapefruit and patchouli together and you smell it, it's a delightful smell. It's not, the patchouli is not as overpowering as you would think. It's really nice. Okay. Cinnamon oil. the bar. Okay, I have a little bar, my Ningxia Red bar over here. It's my cinnamon oil is over there. So if Kelly has it, great. If not, no worries. You guys can picture it. The cinnamon vitality oil. Oh, Trish, love you. Thank you very much. This is the second best oil. Number one best oil for healthy weight management support is grapefruit. All of you should have a bottle of grapefruit in your back pocket. Number two is cinnamon oil. So great. If you guys got it for free last month, you're a happy camper. Cinnamon oil has been shown to help manage normal healthy blood glucose levels. And there's something else in your body called GTF, glucose tolerance factor. And that helps to manage normal healthy levels of both. For this reason, guys, you can look up some research on this. Cinnamon oil has been known, a lot of doctors will recommend upping your cinnamon intake, cinnamon oil, even diffusing it, but adding it to your food. A lot of doctors will recommend this for people who struggle with keeping their blood sugar normal. Also, Acatea, the one I mentioned earlier, we'll talk about that. That's in all of the sleep products, but it's part of the cinnamon family, but not as hot as regular cinnamon oil. So cinnamon oil, like I said, it helps to manage normal blood sugar levels, which in long term, if your blood sugar isn't doing this, it's great for healthy weight management, right? It can also help reduce those munchy times. How many of you guys, your blood sugar crashes and you're just grabbing whatever you can? Typically, I guarantee, raise your hand, tell me if I'm wrong, but don't we all crave sugars when we're hungry? Right? We're going to reach for something that's quick. Here's why. Because we're probably tired and our blood sugar is plummeting and our body tells us what we need, right? And so if we're craving sugar, what we need to, again, stop and say, okay, our blood sugar just dropped. Instead of, throwing a piece of chocolate in our face, I don't know who would do that, or potato chips, which really are starch, which turn to sugar, or anything, or crackers or any of that, stop. Grab an oil, something that's going to help those blood sugar levels just get back to where they're meant to be, and then maybe drink a shot of Ningxia Red. Even just having like a sip of water with Acatea in it or with the cinnamon oil in it, that's going to help. Studies have shown too that if you bake with cinnamon, so maybe you're doing some bars, like if you guys make your own granola bars, adding some cinnamon oil to that is going to help that. Adding it to your smoothies. Maribel, I just have to say, I did not like our vanilla protein powder, the Pure Protein Complete, and we had an event a couple weeks ago, and she added a drop of cinnamon essential oil to it. Man, that was a game changer. So vanilla protein powder with a drop of cinnamon, it's like drinking a cinnamon cookie. It's yummy. Tea. Here's another thing, guys, adding a drop to some warm water for like a little cinnamon tea. So, so great to help your blood sugar, to help stave off those crashes. All right, the third essential oil to help support your body and weight management is ginger. Ginger oil is incredible. I cannot tell you by law all the reasons why ginger is amazing, but y'all can look it up. Ginger helps support normal digestion. It actually helps our body support nutrients. It supports our body in absorbing nutrients. Taking ginger vitality oil every day or adding it to your regimen will help the absorption of nutrients from your food, from your supplements. There's compounds in the ginger plant called gingerols, which made me think of little ginger plants wearing overalls, but there, I digress. It is getting late, guys. So gingerols have scientifically been proven to reduce disease-causing inflammation. I did not say that about ginger oil. Just saying. Just talk about the plant here now. Just talking about the plant. But there's compounds in ginger, the ginger plant, called gingerols. There's so many studies done on the gingerols. So that will help our intestines, and it overall improves the absorption of all the vitamins and minerals that we're consuming, whether it's food, whether it's supplements. And here's the thing. If you're absorbing more vitamins, more minerals, so think about it. Here's the deal. Ready? Essential oils help, just like what they do in the plant, they support our cells, right? They help the cells feel happy. I'll say that. Supplements, nutrients, vitamins, minerals, help feed our cells. If your cells are fed properly, they're going to function properly. And by functioning properly, they're going to regenerate normally. They're going to flush fats. They're going to increase your energy, all of which are going to help contribute to healthy weight management. All right, so I'm done with the oils. Those are your 3 oils. Now let's chat about the Sleek line. So Sleek came out. They've had it for a while, but they repackaged it and reformulated a couple of things about a year and a half ago, and it is fantastic. I mentioned earlier on that I've always been on the thinner side. Weight management is not a challenge for me. However, I tried the Citrus Slim, and I got to tell you, as you can probably imagine, I have a very high metabolism. It's 10, 15, and 9. I'm raring to go. I'm super excited. So when I took the Citrus Slim, I didn't even think anything of it. And I went to the gym and I was speaking to my trainer and he said, "Are you having a great day?" I'm like, "It's amazing. My day's awesome." And I'm just, and I'm talking so fast. He's like, "Oh my God, what are you doing? What are you taking?" And I realized that I'm taking the Sleek and it's fantastic. And it's giving me all this energy. So I'm not here to treat, cure, or diagnose you guys. What I do want to tell you is I had energy for days. I mentioned the 5 kids, the 4 dogs, I homeschool, and I work this business full time. If anybody needs extra energy in their life, it's me. Just that extra pep in their step. That's the thing. So the capsules, they're called Sleek Citrus Slim. I want you guys to try to say that 10 times fast. Good luck to you. Or while you're trying to teach a class. These, the website will tell you it's naturally derived and formulated to help you meet your weight management goals. Okay, here's how. Let's take a closer look on that. You have 2 capsules in there. There's, in one of them, one of the packages, there's the daily liquid capsule. Okay, that contains, Kelly Pounder raised her hand. Yes, ma'am?
I just wanted to point out, you were talking about the energy and stuff, and it sort of reminded me of, and I can't remember the name of it, but in the 90s, there was something that they called Natural that we took, and it got us like super high. Anyone remember that in the 90s?
We're recording, don't forget.
I know. It wasn't Fen-Phen. I think I saw Kelly Brady's mouth saying Fen-Phen, but it was something.
I was like, no, isn't it Fen-Phen? I feel like it is.
Fen-Phen was a prescription, but this was something you could get at the store. Anyway, I've also used it, and I know the energy that you're talking about, and it's totally different. That stuff that I took in the 90s, it got me to where I could like hear myself talk inside my head. That it was that kind of weird feeling, and yeah, the Sleek is nothing like that other stuff. So I just wanted to sort of clarify that it's, if anyone has tried other things, this is nothing like it.
I'm so glad you cleared that. See, I have never tried. Was it no dose? Trisha just asked if it was no dose. Not that.
And I'm going to Google it.
Okay. Yeah, let us know, because, and that's the thing, is I've never taken anything like that. But I grew up going to the diet doctor with my mom. Not that she would take me to the diet doctor for me, but it was for her. And essentially they gave them speed. And that's what my mom was super skinny, but it was speed. But they were always, that was when, I would watch her and my aunt like smoke cigarettes and just drink coffee. Like that was their food, because they didn't need food because they were all wired. It's not like that kind of a feeling. I'm so glad you said that, Kelly. It just gave me a bundle of energy, So that was great. Yeah. When you find it, let me know. Okay. So who had Stacy, was that you that had a question?
I think Yvette was going to say something.
No, was it called Vivarin?
That might be
like Vivarin. It was like basically something you get at the drugstore. Was kind of like speed, supposed to keep you awake.
Yeah, that could have
awesome. Wow. I'm telling you, the 90s. It's amazing we all made it through.
I know.
And we're still fat.
I know.
For real. Seriously, yeah. With Trisha's no dose and the Vivarin, I remember that, Yvette. And I'm almost like, could you get it at 7-Eleven even? Maybe I know you could get no dose at 7-Eleven. I know that.
College.
Yes. Okay. So in the once daily liquid cap, so you've got pomegranate seed oil, and then you've got a mixture of essential oils. So you've got lemongrass, you've got lemon myrtle, and Idaho balsam fir. So this blend is high in the constituent citral, which citral helps increase your metabolic activity. So the blend of those 3 oils together, along with the pomegranate seed oil, is going to help your body's metabolic activity go up. Ephedrine, is that what it is?
I think so, yeah.
I feel like that was for some reason I was thinking that is like a ibuprofen, but no, I guess not, huh?
No, it's all over the internet that it was the craze of the 90s.
Wow. Whew. Okay.
Yeah, I could hear my voice inside my head. Like, it was weird.
That's so you could see colors, I'm sure. And
probably, yeah.
Not in a good way. Not in a good way. Okay, then you have the powder capsules. So these contain a Mediterranean citrus extract blend. So you've got sweet orange, you have blood orange, and you have grapefruit. So all 3 of those together create just a whole bunch of bioactive phenols. So all that means is it's going to help. Remember how we mentioned with the smell of the grapefruit with the enzymes? It's going to be the same thing. So these are powdered, so it's ground down. This is going to help in your body create polyphenols, and it's going to help your body start doing that enzyme production and flushing the fats out. Okay. Also, it contains cinnamon powder, more orange, fenugreek seed. So I'm going to pause on that in a minute, and we'll talk more about fenugreek. It's just so you know, Kyle, it's not just for breastfeeding women. It's ridiculous for men, by the way, in a good way. Acacia leaf. So you've got a couple cinnamon families in there. And then the essential oils that are in here, peppermint. Do you remember I talked to you guys about helping your bellies? So peppermint is going to help your guts. Acacia, cassia, which is another cinnamon plant, and then fennel. So it's like bookend by 2 amazing belly oils, fennel and peppermint. Both of those have other great qualities, but those are awesome. So here's a little tidbit on fenugreek. Okay, ready? Fenugreek improves digestion and helps manage healthy cholesterol levels. Okay. Also, research has shown that fenugreek can help, again, the inflammation inside the body. Fenugreek was discovered to have medicinal qualities thousands of years ago through Ayurvedic medicine practitioners. I don't know if any of you guys have ever had an Ayurvedic massage. Really, really amazing. Chinese medicine, traditional Chinese medicine, they use fenugreek to help slow down the absorption of sugars in the stomach and to stimulate insulin. This is Chinese folks. But again, they have the highest amount of centurions. So this would be, did I say that wrong again? No, I did it right this time. Thanks, Trish. I'm always getting my centuries wrong. Also, traditional Chinese medicine uses fenugreek to help, this is super gross, but break up phlegm. Also to break up stuck energies in the body, right? We only have one. And then to cool inflammation in the body. So this is what traditional Chinese medicine uses fenugreek for. Also, we get our Ningxia Red from China. I mean, people who have the highest number of folks who live past 100 worldwide, you kind of want to look and see what they're doing. Fenugreek and wolfberries. All right. It increases libido in men. Give that to your husbands, ladies. Just saying. Some fenugreek, so studies have shown to help with all kinds of male challenges. I'm just going to leave it at that. Just going to leave it at that. You guys can Google that on your own time because we're a mixed company. This would be a little awkward. Also for women, so this is, again, kind of awkward, but traditionally women will drink fenugreek tea to help with breastfeeding and help the milk flow. It adds flavor and spice to the food, so it's not just a whole, body helper. It also improves exercise performance, which is probably why when I was at the gym taking my Citrus Slim caps, I felt amazing, like I could run forever. This is straight off the website, so I am not talking out of term, but the Citrus Sleek caps, they're formulated to burn fat, supports healthy metabolism, It may support a release of free fatty acids that will help break down fat and produce extra energy and reduce oxidative stress. So we talked about the stress earlier on. There's a sleek essential oil that you can get, sleek essence essential oil, I should say, and that is great because it can help control sugar cravings and give you that feeling of being full. You can do this. You can take it in a capsule. Although as I think about this, the sleek essence, I mean, you guys do what you want. You can get it. It's tasty. But depending on what your weight management needs are, and Kelly's probably like, Jen, I want them to get the sleek essence. And that's okay. If Kelly's your person, you can listen to her. But here's me. For me, I would say, I'd rather do Acatea and grapefruit. In the sleek essence blend, you do have some Acatea in there. There is spearmint, which is great. And there's some other citrus oils in there. I'm sorry, I'm reading this. Does it say anything about minimum age? I believe it's 12, Maribel. I'm almost positive it's 12. I can look that up for you, though. So, I mean, the sleek essence oil, knowing what I know now about grapefruit, cinnamon, Acatea, even patchouli, that sort of thing, I might pause on that. Though if you get the sleek line with the, it comes with the Citrus Slim caps, it comes with the shake and all of this, okay, well, I mean, you're going to get the essence anyway. You may as well give it a go. So here's what's in the oil. You've got Acatea, you've got lemon, you've got tangerine and grapefruit already, and spearmint, and a little bit of stevia. So it's already sweetened. Stevia is not my favorite. So I'm really selling the sleek essence oil. I apologize, guys. But I'm just like, listen, I'd rather just have the Acatea and grapefruit and all that straight up. We told you the benefits of that. So, and it's a lot tastier. The sleek tea, though, I will tell you guys. Wait, Kelly, is it back in stock?
No, but it's supposed to be any day. They've really been amping this up that I am suspecting the kits are going to be back in stock any day now.
That's what I'm thinking. Okay, you guys, listen. If you did not take anything away, listen to me on this. When the sleek tea comes in, just get a bunch. Mm-hmm. It goes in and out of stock. And here's what I learned from being in Ecuador. Acatea leaf is so very challenging to grow. And so because we're not the type of company that is just going to greenhouse everything and just manufacture it, we're at the mercy of God and the elements. So when it's out, it's out. And when it's in, it's in. Get as much as you can afford as your budget allows. But here's what's in sleek tea. Are you ready? So it's got cocoa. It's got some essential oils, which we'll talk about in a minute. Frankincense powder. I mean, hello, frankincense, longevity, my friends, and a little bit of stevia. And you don't really taste the stevia as much as you do in the sleek essence. It's made with oolong tea. And here we go, back to the Asian culture. In Taiwan, oolong tea, it's highly sought after for weight management. It's better than green tea for antioxidants. Raise your hand if you're a green tea lover for the antioxidants. Most of us in the States are like, yeah, green tea, better than black, blah, blah, blah. Move over, green tea. It's all about the oolong tea. So even if you don't get sleek, next time you're at Teavana or at Whole Foods or wherever, grab some oolong tea, guys. It's higher in antioxidants, very high. You could also make your oolong tea and then do a splash of Ningxia Red. Your cells will be like, what in the world? All the health. So here are some of the benefits. Because of the oolong tea, you got protection against free radicals for days. The sleek tea is going to help provide that feeling of fullness because you've got the Acatea, because you've got the grapefruit, because you've got spearmint, and even a little bit of cocoa in there. Yum. So good. Yeah, it's Amazonian cacao, by the way, for the cocoa, which I've tasted, and it's super good. I'm sorry, I just got back from Ecuador, and it's still on my brain, and I'm like tasting little cacao beads. They're yummy. It's got Ecuadorian Acatea leaf, and then again, the frankincense powder. There's vanilla essential oil in there, which, in case you're wondering, hey, how come Young Living isn't bottling vanilla oil and selling it to us? Because it would be so expensive. I promise you nobody would buy it. But we do manufacture it, and it's in a couple of our products, and it's in our Stress Away. So there's that. Okay, there's a Sleek Shake, which is super yummy. It's a berry flavored. And this, again, it's just going to have the same ingredients, the same oils, those types of things that we've talked about. So it's a berry flavor, and it's good mixed by itself with water or almond milk. No, I'm lying. It doesn't taste good with water. I'm totally lying. You need to do it with milk of some sort. Sorry. I was like, oh, yeah, no, I tried that. Like, it just tastes weird. Mix it with some almond milk, some rice milk, or soy milk, or if you do regular whole milk, it's great too.
Bulk. Love coconut milk.
Oh, yeah, coconut milk would be good too. So I will tell you, if you have anybody in your home, I have these growing children that are trying to get more fats and more all of this. So we actually do the canned coconut milk from Traders. They've got like organic, full fat. So we'll do that and the Sleek Shake. And actually, because it helps them to feel full. That's what's nice. And we'll talk about the Balance Complete here in a minute. And actually, I'm going to ask Maribel and Kelly to chat with me about that. For me, I really like the Sleek Shake because it is vegan friendly. It doesn't have a lot of animal protein. And here's my little thing about animal protein. It's very hard for your body to break down. The way meat digests is, and if you guys are meat eaters, you're going to need to up your probiotic game just a little bit more at first. Meat actually rots in your gut, and then you're able to poop it out. So you're welcome for that tonight. It usually takes about 3 to 5 days for it to get through your system. Again, you're welcome. I want you guys to think about that. That's kind of gross. And gross in that it's like, man, why? Things just should not sit in your belly that long. But if you eat a lot of plants that are going to help to push it through, it doesn't have to be that story. But if you're on the SAD, the Standard American Diet, many of us just don't have enough plants in our life to just push it all through. So the protein that you get in the Sleek Shake is pea protein. You got quinoa, wolfberries, which is what our Ningxia Red's made from. So Ningxia Red is actually high in protein. Did you guys know that? Same amount of protein as 2 to 3 eggs. So if you're needing some extra protein for bed, grab a shot of Ningxia Red. Antioxidants for days, protein. I mean, it's amazing. It's so, so good. So wolfberry, pumpkin seed protein, and then you've got alpha grass juice just to help with all the nutrients. There's B vitamins. That's going to give you some more energy and all that. Okay. My last thing I want to share with you guys is the 5-day nutritive cleanse. And I posted this on we have an oily page for those of you guys who maybe aren't oily yet on Facebook. And and I posted this. You have that friend that's like, you know what you really need to do? You know what you really should do? And you're like, I know, I hear you. That friend is my friend Maribel. I don't know where she is on your screen, but Maribel, wave at everybody. Maribel and even Kelly, right? And Trish, You girls have told me about the 5-day nutritive cleanse. I'm like, that's good for you guys, but I eat plants and so whatever. And I've just sort of poo-pooed it, and I almost like half listened. But then when finally Maribel recently was like, Jen, it comes with Balance Complete protein, 2 bottles of Ningxia Red, and Digest and Cleanse. I'm thinking, wait a minute. Well, I need those things. I mean, just because you eat plants doesn't mean you don't need to cleanse your body every once in a while. And so when I looked at it and I thought, oh my gosh, I've got to share this with you guys. If you are looking for a good way to start loving your body and doing healthy weight management, you're going to want to start off with just a quick 5-day, like a cleanse. For all of you that are like, she says cleanse, that's equals I don't ever eat and I'm drinking something that's disgusting. No, friends, I promise you, I'm an eater. It's like I should be named Jennifer Eater Weir. That should be my name. And when I was doing some research on this, so the Balance Complete, you girls can attest to it. I have not tasted it yet, but it is yummy, yes? It tastes like vanilla?
I like it with orange added.
Ooh, yum.
Yeah.
So, wait, I didn't hear you, Maribel. What did you say?
You can even do a little shot of Ningxia.
Yes.
And so for 5 days, you replace your meals with the shake. You drink oodles of Ningxia Red, right?
Tons
of Ningxia Red. And you
all
take
the Ningxia.
Right. And the Digest and Cleanse, which is a supplement that's got, right. You've got fennel, you've got peppermint, you've got ginger, cardamom, all good belly oils in there, and it's going to help start to repair and heal your belly. So just for 5 days, at first I'm like, you mean I only get to drink because I have this love affair with food like no one's business? And no, you just, when you're hungry, you grab some fruits and veggies. I'm like, okay, I can do that. I can totally do that. And it's just for 5 days. And so that, Maribel, what is the cost? It's $121. Yes.
121, item number 4890. That's my favorite. Can you tell?
My favorite is when you say item number 48.
Yes.
Okay. And so Maribel, because you've done the cost, break it down for us. Like what you're so good with that.
Yeah. So Trish and I did this already a couple of times. And y'all, if you buy the bundle, you save $30. So that's like getting the Digest and Cleanse for free. It's awesome. And then Trish gave me this great tip. So if you feel a little low energy, just drink more of the Ningxia. And it was so good. And so I posted this too, like day one, I'm like, oh, cool. It tells you exactly what to eat. And then if you do get hungry, you can eat a little bit of veggies, stuff like that. Day 2, I thought, okay, this is a great plan. Day 3, I thought, oh, I was calling on Jesus, like, whoa, what's going on with my body?
My favorite.
Yeah. But by day 4, I thought, what? This is awesome. I started getting like my energy back, and this whole fuzzy stuff just started going away. Do you ever get that brain fog? Yeah. And then by day 5, I was like, whoa, this is awesome. And then I missed it after that. So
okay, so Trisha said you end up with a half a bottle of the Digest and Cleanse left, which is great.
Yeah.
There might be times throughout the year or even the month that you're like, ooh, I could use a little bit. That it just helps to cleanse everything out, just like it's so
it's so good.
Yeah. And so here's the thing, guys, we are in December and everybody is like kind of thinking about weight management, kind of thinking about getting healthier, in the year 2018. It's just what we do. I mean, the gyms are packed in January. We're always thinking of this is going to be our year. We're going to make $1 million. We're going to lose 1,000 pounds. And so, and that's hard because though that would be fun, it's like, again, easy +1. But the Digest and Cleanse, to do it, between Christmas and New Year's, to do it, do it on January 2nd or 3rd. Like, just be super weird. Don't start it on January 1st. And it's just 5 days. Just 5 days. You can do anything for 5 days. You can be, like she said, calling on Jesus on Wednesday in the middle of the week. And that's just one day. But think about how amazing your body feels. So I think of it like a kickstart, especially after a holiday time. If any of you have ever fasted, maybe you've only done veggies, you do the Daniel fast for however long. It's remarkable how much energy you have. I mean, the Bible talks about Daniel and his friends just said, no, we just want fruits, vegetables and water. See that we're not stronger. And they were healthier and more fit, probably because, God gave them that supernatural experience. And yet you have to know that that's in there to show us that vegetables will fuel your cells even better. So just a short time, think about how amazing your body would feel. Think about that. And again, Maribel, 121, right? 2 bottles of Ningxia, a balanced complete air. You would not run out of that in 5 days, yes?
I had leftover.
Yeah.
Okay, like how much would you have left over?
I had about a quarter of it left over. Trish, what about you?
Yeah, it's about the same.
Okay.
Quarter of it. So you end up with more. You could have some more shakes. You only use half your bottle of Digest and Cleanse. Now, granted, you will drink all your Ningxia. There's no doubt about it. You will drink.
So
challenge accepted.
Oh, I know. I was like, oh, the Ningxia.
So good. How many of you guys, does anyone not know what Ningxia Red is? As we're talking about it. Okay, Kelly. And
Kelly.
Okay, Maribel, calm down. Don't scare her.
She's my friend, Maribel.
She's other Kelly's friend. So, and again, anybody who's watching this, maybe someone sent the link to you. You're probably wondering, what is Ningxia Red? So Ningxia Red is a super high antioxidant drink. I alluded to it a little bit throughout the class, where it was you get these wolfberries from the Ningxia province in China. Gary Young, years and years ago, I think as he was starting Young Living as a company, he also traveled to China, and he really sought the world. He's always seeking the world just to see what people's what they do for longevity and health. Every culture has something. What he found is in China, they have the highest number of people who live past 100. Which I think, again, that's worth noting. And one of their things that they do is they have wolfberries constantly. They make a little wolfberry tea. So they boil the little berries and they make a tea out of it. They eat them dried. They eat them raw. He gathered them and made a puree, and that's what we have. So the wolfberry puree is in your Ningxia Red. The reason why it's so high in antioxidants, because the wolfberry itself, so you've got your blueberries, those are about 2,000 to 3,000 on the ORAC scale. But all that is just more antioxidants in your body. Ningxia wolfberries are about I just learned, I would always tell people 25,000. It's actually 30 to 35,000 on the ORAC scale. That's huge, you guys. So think about it. Also, sitting down and just having 2 ounces, just 2 little ounces, a little shot glass of Ningxia Red is the same as sitting down and eating, 4 pounds of carrots. I love carrots, but my mouth's going to get a little tired of chewing. So it's going to give us the same. Like I remember arguing with somebody, they're like, oh, really? It's going to give you that much fiber? And I was just, no, it's just the same amount of nutrients. That's all we need. We can get fiber from other things, but the nutrients, the vitamins, it's the same idea as that. And I don't know about you guys, but I have not sat down and had 84 apples, 90-something onions, which is the same amount that you're going to get. And so that's what's so great. It's one of those, especially when you're kind of new to oils or anything, it's hard because you think, wow, maybe I'll have to take this on faith like I do my other supplements. But with Ningxia Red, you feel it, and you feel it immediately. And here's why. There's essential oils in all of our supplements, but especially in our Ningxia Red. So what you need to know about that, and that's why as I went through all of the Sleek products and the Balance Complete and all of those, everything has essential oils. And why that's important is this. Our bodies, remember I talked about our guts not being 100% healthy. We need to clean our gut. Most of us are not taking a great probiotic at best and then no probiotic at worst, right? And so our bellies aren't healthy. They're just broken down. Fallen world. We walk through toxins every day. We get stressed. So our bellies, even if we take a whole food supplement, it cannot absorb 100% of that supplement. That's why many supplements will say take it several times a day. Though I know we have some that take, a couple times a day, because otherwise you'd be taking probably like 10 pills just for all the nutrients. But I know there's a company called Standard Process that I really love and I really appreciate what they do, but they don't have essential oils. So I have to take their supplements, 5 in the morning, 5 in the afternoon, so that my body can absorb at least 20%. At least 20%. I actually say at most 20%, forgive me. When you couple it with an essential oil, okay, and they've done research on adding essential oil to like multigreens and then not having it with essential oils, or adding essential oils to your regular vitamin D supplement from another company. Studies have shown that your absorption rate goes up exponentially. So you go from like 60% up to 85% absorption rate. That's pretty good, right? I mean, that's beyond good. So you feel a difference. When I started taking Super B, that was my gateway supplement. I'm like, oh, okay. I think we got it for free or something. I thought I'll take it. And again, I thought someone had lit a fire under me. I thought, oh, my adrenals were wondering, where have you been all my life? I stopped taking all my 4 adrenal supplements I was taking from Standard Process, and I only take Super B now because there's nutmeg in it, which is free, by the way, this month. Just so you know, if you're on Essential Rewards, you're going to get that if you place a 100 PV order. It's so worth it. But nutmeg is infused in Super B, and that's so good for our adrenals. It's great for energy, and on and on. So Ningxia Red has tangerine. It's got orange oil. It's got lemon. It's got, I'm sorry, not orange. It's got tangerine, lemon, and it's got yuzu oil. All of those are so good for cellular function, great for your lymph system, and all the nutrients from the Ningxia Red is just going to be drawn into your cells. So that's Ningxia Red in a nutshell. And that's why we all go gaga over it. It's Amazing. And sometimes people will take it and be like, you know what, I didn't feel it. I'm going to pause. I do like to tell people, drink it for 3 weeks and then go a week without it. Usually they can go about 3 days and like, oh my gosh, I feel so sluggish. You don't typically notice the difference till you don't drink it. So you can do a little test, which my order is taking a really long time to get here. So I'm about to be on that test. I'm sort of nervous. I might be knocking on your door, Maribel, for some Ningxia. So, all right, guys, I'm going to stop the recording. Thanks if you're watching this later for listening. Talk to the person who sent this to you. Give them a big old bear hug because they love you and they just want the best for you.